Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Divine Spiritual Journey. This video is a counterpart, a follow-up to the raw Capricorn reading that I did. I can link the video here. It was very raw. It was a ghetto setup, but that was the only time and place that I had to myself, and I wanted to let you guys in on that energy. But this is the nice, clean, edited version, and I just wanted to expand on the cards that I pulled, and I have them here in front of me, just to really tap back into the energy. One thing that stood out to me was really the upside down Judgment card, and when I was looking at it, I saw a lot of just one-sided situations, is what I feel like the collective is dealing with. One-sided relationships, them pouring too much into people that aren't pouring back into them. And that is something I know I had been guilty of, you know what I mean? And this particular year was transformational for me because I learned to pour back into my own cup this year. I learned to put myself first, and that's not always easy, especially when you have such a big heart, right? Especially when you want to see your people do well. You want to support your people. And sometimes they don't, not that they don't want to see you do well, but they just don't have the capacity and the compassion that you yourself have. And that's okay. But the thing is, we need to be using that for ourselves first. And that is one of the biggest messages that Spirit is saying to change going into 2025. Let it go. You were putting too much energy into it, okay? You need to reel it back in and put it into yourself. And in addition to that, true colors were shown, you know, but we also saw a lot happening in the masses, you know, the media. And not that I follow too closely with the media, but I know that a lot of people, like, I feel the energy, you know. A lot of people are affected by the election, the atrocities that are happening around the world. So it is easy to give that energy, you know, and it's going to bring us down, that type of energy. Not saying to not give compassion or not show interest in social problems. However, again, we need to make sure that we are divvying up our energy in a way that we can still be able to move forward, you know what I mean? Like, be able to enjoy our lives. If we're not enjoying our lives, what are we doing here, right? So I feel like it's one of those things where this and that are true. I can be compassionate about things that are going on in my world, but also thriving in my own world, if that makes sense. So that was another message. Now, in the spread, we saw the Queen of Swords as well. The Queen of Swords was in the place of the heart chakra and in the place of the present. So currently we are doing better to gather ourselves, right? That's what I'm feeling, but we are still very hurt. We are still very emotional. The situations we've been through this past year up until now have been painful, right? It's not been easy, but we're finding our way through. We're navigating, right? The sword, again, is upright. We're thinking a bit better, right? We're thinking upright, doing our best anyway, seeing the silver lining in it all, and doing our best to move forward. We're facing forward. The Queen, if you see, she's facing forward. That to me is a message to say, let's, you know, our heart is still in this, you know what I mean? We still got the fight in us. We might be, and this goes into the future card. So the that was the Nine of Wands. Yeah, that was the Nine of Wands. So moving into the future card, the Nine of Wands, I feel that it is good energy. However, it is also an invitation to be more balanced. So the Nine of Wands, like I mentioned in the raw reading, we are doing a lot. We have a lot of opportunities going, and we are doing our best to juggle so many plates, is what I saw. So many things. And I myself am doing that, you know, but we all wear different hats, right? We are a mom, we're uncles, we are aunts, we're dads, we are big sisters, you know, we are leaders in our community. And this is, it can pull us in so many different directions, right? It can pull us in so many different paths, and then we get, you know, sometimes it can make our compass go haywire, you know. We're in so many different directions, and, you know, you get dizzy. What are we doing? What am I doing again? You know, like, where am I going? But we want to remain focused, and the way that we get focused again and get grounded and balance ourselves out is to give ourselves time. So that is what I certainly heard, is to pour into you. Make sure that you are taking the time this season, this Capricorn season, to rest. I have to tell myself the same thing, because with the Capricorn energy, I've felt like go, but I've also been resting. Don't get me wrong. I am too finding the balance. I myself am still finding the balance. That's why I wore my gray today, you know, black and white, right? But it's important to find that balance. Give, but give to yourself too. Because if you don't give to yourself, you're going to tap out. You're going to, your reserves will run dry. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot pour from an empty cup. We've heard that so many times, and it is true every time you hear it. Every time you hear it, and every time that someone reminds you, take the reminder. It's not meant in malice. It's not a bad thing. It's not, you know, it's not a curse word. Rest. It's okay. And it's funny because I feel like it's hard in today's world. Like, you know, it's always get up, get to it. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can make this very intentional, you know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be, I mean, it'd be nice to be able to lounge all day, every day. But it doesn't have to be like that. Keep up with your schedule. Don't get me wrong, but jot out some time, schedule some time for you on the calendar, you know? Take a nourishing foot soak. I like Epsom salt soaks with lavender. What is it? Dead sea salts soaks, I believe, have the same mineral support. You'll have to look that up. I don't use it, but I believe it does. I'd have to double check my notes. But the point is, do something that is going to revitalize you. You know, take a nice hot shower. I like hot showers. Maybe you like a cold shower. I don't know. But play some relaxing music, play some song bowls, play some jazz, whatever calms your soul, you know, whatever moves you and makes you feel like, oh, that was good, you know. That's what you want. Give yourself that feeling this season, you know. Get back to you. Give your body, yourself, your soul, your spirit thanks for carrying you through this year, you know, because it did. It got you to this point. Not everyone made it here this year. That's just the truth of the matter. Unfortunately, not everyone made it. And you are here. So that in itself is a blessing. That in itself is a big blessing. So I think it's important for us to celebrate and give thanks to ourselves, our bodies, and our minds for not going crazy, right? Because again, it's been a tough year, right? It's not been the easiest, but again, transformational nonetheless. It has been, everything has worked out in your highest good, whether you see it or not. And if you choose not to see it, it's going to seem like everything is conspiring against you, So it's best to move with the flow. It's best to face things and accept it as best as we can, process it as best as we can, and move forward in the best way we know how. So that is my 2 cents on the past, present, and future cards. Now we're going to assess the crown and the root. So the crown was the Page of Swords. Again, I see I see zealousness, like we are really doing our best to move forward, even though we might not know exactly what we're doing. We just feel, we have this feeling that we're following, you know what I mean? We have this thought that we can't get rid of, right? And we're just like, no, I have to move on this. I have to move on this. So even though we've been through a tough year, there are still a lot of bright ideas. There are still a lot of people who are like, oh, this is what I'm going to do moving forward. Or I see the future, you know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people are like, the world is ending. Things are changing, yes, and systems are changing, you know what I mean? They're ending, but something new pops up, you know what I mean? Something new comes to fruition to replace the old and the outdated. That's change, you know what I mean? Like, we're going through the season of change right now, winter, like most of the trees lost their leaves, right? And that in itself, I don't know if the trees think, oh my, you know what I mean? Or they let it go with love, you know what I mean? Like, oh, good, thank you. I needed to release this, to accept the new beauty that is coming, So maybe we need to have a mindset like that. And I feel like a lot of us do have a mindset like that with this collective crown card of the Page of Swords. So that makes me happy. Keep it up. Go with your bright ideas, even if no one is interested. Keep it up. Stay consistent. That's the biggest thing. That's the toughest thing, is to stay consistent. So I encourage you to do this. Now, the root. It is the Three of Pentacles, right? And this is pretty grounding energy that I'm feeling. So, again, this is referencing back to the raw footage reading. I heard, and I'm hearing again, that we are the people that cleared out this year. They needed to clear out. We needed to be able to stand our ground, stand on business, right? To really create a space that we can create what we want moving forward. So a lot of us were paired with people, relationships that really weren't aligned with our energy or what we were trying to do moving forward. So it wasn't the easiest to let go of these relationships or to go through the rifts that you had to with the relationships, but you had to do it, is what I'm hearing. So it needed to be done. And one thing that I did learn this year is, again, I learned it it's been a few years, but like, it's surprising that the people that you think are going to be there with you may not be there with you. It's just, you can't take everyone to the top with you. And that is very true, very true. So when you lose people, or people may not be interested in what you're doing, supporting, or anything like this, count that as a blessing, to be honest. Don't get me wrong. It can be painful, and the subconscious body has to work through it, but it gets easier. It gets easier. It does. And you create, when you let go of what doesn't serve you, what's not for you, and what's not pouring into you in the ways that you need it to, you open up so much space for people who are going to do that for you, for people who are going to support you in the right ways, for just a different energy that you can just bask in because you feel yourself. You can be yourself. You don't have to step on eggshells and be like, well, I know how so and so is going to feel about this, let me not, or, oh, here we go again. Why have to deal with those interactions? This is your life. This is your life. So choose better. I know I am. This year I'm choosing better. I am being very selective with my energy, with the people and the things that I entertain in the media, in the world. There's some certain things or conversations people will bring up that I won't, and I'll be as respectful as I can, because sometimes, we'll say things that people take in a disrespectful way when it's not disrespect, it's just how I feel, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I said about how I felt slipped out. My bad. But sometimes we need to tell ourselves certain things, and we got to say it out loud so that we don't take on those thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, that's me personally. I'm a Gemini, so given one thought, I can run with it. If I accept it, if I let it just seep in there, and I know a lot of people are the same. That's why they put out TV, you know what I mean? Like, we're putting out things, visuals, to get people to either accept it, you know what I mean? Just get the essence, you know what I mean? A lot of people will take it and run with it, and that makes it even realer, you know what I mean? So think about things like in the media. When you're giving that too much attention, it makes it realer, and then you get stressed, and then you get sick, you know what I mean? Because you're worried about this, you're worried about that, and then you're also trying to keep up with yourself and your busy life, and keep up and take care with your family, take care of your family, and all these things, you could start to snowball. So it's important just to honor yourself, and not, if you have to entertain such conversations, maybe find some times to not this season. You know what I mean? Like, turn it off, mute those notifications this season, Don't invite the energy in the space that you're trying to rest, relax, and reset, because this is the time to really feed yourself, to nourish yourself, and revive yourself for the year ahead. So thank you for tuning in. I am wishing you all well. I hope you guys have a happy new year and a great year to come. Stay divine.